on these very, very tight battles that we're currently having in this meta, Grubby.
Yeah, not just the enemy heroes will get damaged, from which you will get shield assimilation, but also if you're in the middle of spider web waves, the spider web weavers, and all the little minions, you get so much bonus shield, she becomes virtually unkillable anyway. And if it gets worse, you've always got Divine Palm from Kharazim coming in.
And who better than Bakery than to land it?
Exactly.
Yeah, totally true. That will obviously put Kerrigan in a little bit of stasis there for a moment. But we get Johanna, and Tyrande is going to be following things up. We already touched briefly on Tyrande being a very strong pick for Navi in the past, and it comes out now.
A little bit strange to go for Johanna rather than Muradin then. But I guess with the next bans coming up, they can ban that if they want to make sure that Dignitas don't grab it themselves.
Sonya is going to get removed, generally very powerful hero. I thought maybe we'll see that Muradin ban as well. But that may be up to Navi. They're going to have to make a choice here.
We could definitely see that coming out. I mean, the thing is, though, is that Team Dignitas, well, there you go. I mean, with being limited from having a Tyrael available to them, we're probably going to see a Team Dignitas now moving over towards the Arthas picks, etc. Something like that, as they've already shown, is very strong for them.
Yeah, this is one of the best battlegrounds for Kerrigan, bar none or maybe one, together with Haunted Mines.
Yes.
It's a very close combat battleground where Kerrigan get a lot of kills in the early game. And what better to pair up with than something like an Arthas?
Yeah, it was very important to remove the Muradin. The ETC comes out into play.
Chinese metagame.
Dignitas.
It's time to come out from the shadows and jump on top of everybody, because that is what we're going to see. We're going to see power slides. We're going to see combos from Kerrigan coming out. Power slide here for ETC, very powerful, along with Mosh Pit as well. We have seen that come into play very, very strongly against these couple of compositions.
Maybe they were afraid that Navi would go for it as well, because we've seen ETC and Tyrande really come into play very well together with Shadowstalk. Maybe time for a Kael'thas here, because Dignitas, they need some extra damage. They need a damage dealer that's ranged here.
Right, 3 melee heroes so far, even though they have 3 different roles. You don't want to get too many there. Excellently predicted there, Kael'thas, with the range stun and massive amounts of area of effect damage, and pretty decent burst as well on a single target.
Yeah, looking at that lineup there for Team Dignitas now, I won't be surprised later on if their pickup was another warrior maybe, like the Arthas to actually couple up with all of that. But going over to Team Navi now, what do they need? Do they need a proper support here? What are they going for?
I like the dual off support with Tassadar here. Helps a lot to protect against Kerrigan, ETC burst damages. He's himself pretty escapable as well if you can get away from those stuns using Dimensional Shift.
It's a great.
How about Diablo? Tyrande and Diablo. Navi are the one team that can run this kind of composition very well together.
Okay, it's going to be Brightwing, so we have a real support. Diablo's still an option. We have a somewhat limited range damage with Jaina and Tyrande functioning a bit as off damage, so even an assassin or a very high damage warrior would make sense here. Arthas is possible, Falstad is still a possibility, Valla.
I mean, whatever they go for here, if they do end up going for the damage path, then that is extreme damage that they could put out with Hunter's Mark available, Jaina, any damage following it up, and also the good control of Brightwing with Polymorph as well, to even add a bit more vulnerability that if they want to go down that path.
The thing is, whoever they go for later, they need to think about the opponent's composition. You know, ETC and Kerrigan running towards you and using power slides.
Yes.
Primal Grasp stunning you and doing a lot of damage to you. You need to get one of these warriors, if they want to go for a warrior, that's going to be able to survive or escape against this kind of combo. Somebody like an Anubarak maybe. So Diablo, as good as it could be. Maybe in this game it seems a little bit difficult, but they go for it anyway. They have faith in their Diablo once again here.
Lord of Terror, his ability Shadow Charge and Overpower combined together magnificently to flip someone into your own backline and finish them off with all due haste.
Let's see how this is going to work out. We've seen Diablos in the past couple of games that it's been ran, moving in, and actually, sorry, I've seen it in scrims, moving in and then actually just dying off pretty quickly. But with a Johanna in support as a warrior to help on out, spreading that damage a little bit between them, I think Diablo has a lot of good room here to actually get done what he needs to do.
And Dignitas now, they got quite a few options to pick from. The 2 most likely ones, I think, would probably be another warrior like Arthas or a ranged assassin to try and add some extra damage to what they've already got.
Maybe Tassadar. It could be a ranged assassin, could be Arthas, could be Tassadar. They have a fair amount of options because all roles have been represented.
Tassadar actually would really help in giving a shield to Kerrigan and providing some extra survivability. It's going to be Leoric.
All right, got that second warrior. One of the best Tomb of the Spider Queen gem pick-uppers in the game. Leoric is going to be undying for much of it, and he's got options. He can go for Entomb, March of the Black King. Once again, we are not going to know for sure, even though we may have an inkling. And that closes out the draft for now.
Yes, it does.
It's
What
probably
a draft.
the map where Leoric cares the least about dying, by the way, right? 'Cause he comes back so fast, like he's just right back in there, middle of the map already. So really cool draft here.
Yeah, also, you know, obviously being able to clean up those waves pretty quickly when the web weaves are moving along. Skeletal Swing is going to clean that up quite fast. Not as fast as the previous patch, but still pretty fast here as we now get loaded up onto Tomb of the Spider Queen. So far, we've had a fantastic game number one. What a way to start off our semi-finals. Make sure as well to join the conversation on Twitter with the @esportsheroes as well as #HeroesWC. Also include your hashtag for which team you think is going to win. Right now, just a slight edge going over to Na'Vi out there. But at the same time, Dignitas is definitely in a good position to try and round this out. Thank you very much, Grubby, for joining us for the draft. We'll be checking in with you a little bit later on. But for now, we are ready to get into game number 2 here for our semi-finals. Team Na'Vi goes up against Team Dignitas here as we begin things on Tomb of the Spider Queen. And to the left-hand side, it will be Na'Vi with Alex the Pro G going to be playing on Johanna. Eternal is on Jaina. JPL will be on Diablo. Shrimpy playing on the ever so graceful Tyrande. And Splendor will be on Brightwing. Then to the right-hand side, we have Team Dignitas with ATRD on Kael'thas. Athero will be on ETC. Bakery on Karazim. Snitch will be playing Kerrigan. And finally, we have Zarmony going to be on the Leoric.
Team Dignitas, they were able to seize the moments in map number 1 on the map of Na'Vi and beat them on it. Now it's up for Na'Vi to try and do the same thing here on Tomb of the Spider Queen.
Both teams are going to be trying to delay out this wave. You'll see this a lot from both of these teams in the EU meta. They've really kind of had this little style hit them very, very strongly. The more that you can try and block this as a full team, the better it is for you during that big engagement that goes on in the middle as it gets closer towards yours. But when they both do it, it kind of negates each other's movements.
Absolutely. Let's see if they actually want to try and go for it. Both teams, they have to be very cautious here. I feel like it's really going to be for JPL to try and make the plays here on the Diablo, for Na'Vi to try and bring somebody back and maybe land one stun or two on him.
I feel that Diablo's a good counter initiator. When it comes to Athero and Kerrigan trying to charge on in there, if Diablo is present, he has the ability to try and just launch someone in towards their towers and cause problems.
But at the same time, when facing a Kerrigan and an ETC, it can be really tricky. If he's out of position for just 1 second, you know, I talked about how ETC comes in, he's mounted up, and you already know that you're going to be in so much trouble. Uses power slide, you're caught, and then you die.
Definitely. Now Na'Vi has to play this one out pretty slowly. I feel that Team Dignitas has some good power early on in this game. It all really revolves around that Kerrigan combo that we do see being so important here. And we're already seeing Tyrande speccing into towards Hunter's Mark. So the ability to have that available to her a little bit more often gives the potential for those blow-up capabilities here. As ETC already being marked there with Athero trying to get away from this. Alex the Pro G going very low as well. That will be first blood once again going over to Dignitas. And Athero gets away a 1-for-0 trade to start things off.
Yeah, very good job by Team Dignitas, salvaging the situation as they could. Look pretty bad at first, but they were able to secure the first blood and escape as well, pulling in a little bit ahead of experience here. Not the end of the world, though, just yet for Na'Vi. They are going to need to be careful to do better just basically next time. They can't be caught like this and failing to get the takedowns and dying themselves.
One thing's for sure, though, you can see already in Team Dignitas's composition, the power that it holds behind it in the early game. They just took down a Johanna early on, of all heroes. So you've definitely got to be very, very careful here as Na'Vi. Some of the squishier characters going to have to hang back and allow their tanks to do their business and tank.
And this time it's Alex as well, not Shrimpy.
Great iron skin there, making sure that that power slide does not stun him out. Na'Vi already going for a bit of a turn in there with JPL, making sure he can get that going. And then going for an attack. That's a great little combo there, going on towards Kael'thas with that Lunar Flare following up. Perfect execution, but the counter as Tyrande ends up going down there with that power slide from Athero to help on out that stun. Very, very good little trade there overall.
Yeah, 1-for-1, Team Dignitas again. This didn't start out so well, but like I said, when you have ETC plus Kerrigan, you can just turn around, go for the squishies that are a little bit too far out because they do need to get close in order to deal the damage themselves. And that was a nice punishment. Splendor should be okay for now.
Yep, just gets on away there. Any more ticks of that salt consumption or whatever, it would hurt him a little bit more. It's not called salt consumption, but I just can't remember at the moment. We have actually focused attacks coming out from Tyrande, which is interesting. So kind of more over towards that auto attack build, considering they already have the Brightwing there for the proper support.
Yeah, and for now, it's just going to be both teams just kind of sitting back, collecting gems, not that much fighting just yet. It's very common on this map to have one team get a full turn in, then the opponents to get the next one, and not to have any kind of real massive fight before level 10. It feels like the games on this map, they're either super explosive or fairly passive at first, and then later down the line with bigger fights to come. Which so far, this game being the latter.
It's already the turn in here coming from Team Dignitas. As we will see them just cleaning up towards the middle and trying to get those Web Weavers as close as possible to try and take this down. JPL already going for the fight, and that Luna Flare actually missed that overall. Jabbo taking a lot of damage there. Athero with the team is going to back off for now, but that could have got a bit more sticky. It's good that it was a 5v4 in favor of Navi in that position.
A very uncharacteristic mistake here out of Navi. They rarely miss those stunts. Usually they synchronize very well. This is getting a little bit worrying, actually, you know, with them losing the first map and already showing here in this game that the execution is not as good as what we're used to be seeing here from them. They're definitely struggling a lot more than they are usually. I mean, they didn't lose a single map in the European regionals.
Yeah, they're having a harder time here against Dignitas. It certainly seems like some of the teams here have caught up with Navi a little bit while things were going on. Navi, during the EU regional, were probably a little bit more ahead of the meta with their own style, but Team Dignitas has been thinking about this a lot to try and counteract them, and it will be Luna Blaze coming in for level 7 here for Tyrande. So all the more potential for that coupling up for Diablo as well as Tyrande to try and get some of those kills at a little bit of extra range.
Yeah, Lunar Blaze increases the range of Lunar Flare quite a bit. You can stun from so far away with it, and it's going to be an even greater opportunity for her here at Tyrande to land some of these better stuns down the line in those fights, which could become very important.
And all shift abilities being specced into that. Actually a great little follow up there on towards Leoric. That's probably going to be a kill. And oh my god,
Alex
actually is able to get away from that position. Alex the Pro G going in pretty thick, but that will give them a full turn in here. And that is exactly what Navi needs to try and equalize up the experience gain.
Alex was trying to catch that Leoric here, wherever he was going to race for to, but barely missed in the end. So nice save, I guess, from him. And now Dignitas, they find themselves with a nice experience lead. But with the Web Weavers coming in, Navi is going to want to look to try and equalize here the experience count.
They're still looking to push on towards actually getting themselves the Brightwing to start things off. And Infernal is in
They are five.
zone.
They are 5 down there, and they get themselves 2 huge takedowns here. Those Team Dignitas. That rotation wasn't anticipated at all here. Navi definitely having trouble here with the way they're communicating here right now in this series so far.
Well, normally they stop from top to bottom to actually start cleaning things up, but they looked for opportunities, golden opportunities down towards the bottom lane, getting themselves a double kill, and then just being able to move on from there. They are going to be a whole level ahead here in the early game. That's a good combo coming out, but even without Lingering Apparition at level 7, Zarmani is still able to get out of there with his Wraith Walk.
Yeah, Team Dignitas really gaining momentum early here so far in the series, and so far they've been able to hold on to it, but now ideally for them, they would like to try and make something happen with level 10.
Definitely, you got it. I mean, with this, and there's such a good window as well here. You can see Navi really going for the consolation prize, knowing that they can't really contest it up towards the top, so they're going to try and take the hard camp towards the bottom because they don't have that 10.
And all alike, Team Dignitas know that Navi will be playing it slow, so they just go for a 4th at the top. They say, you want to sit back, you want to go for camps, and make sure you soak level 10 first, fine. We'll just grab your 4th at the top, get that very easily, and then rotate on towards the middle to try and get our next turn in.
And they are going for it at the moment. Do they have enough gems to actually turn in here? I think they've got quite a lot indeed. The level 10s being in here. That's going to be the full Web Weaver turn in. With the level 10s of Mosh Pit, we have the Divine Palm as well as March, Phoenix and Maelstrom coming out as these Web Weavers become unleashed once again. They're trying to clean up these lanes and get them pushed as far as possible. If they could get the Wall of Forts here, that would be a massive pickup for Team Dignitas.
Yeah, I think ideally they're going to try to reach level 13 while Navi is still level 10 or 11 before going into any kind of fight. Kerrigan thought about it for a second, but not quite gonna jump in just yet.
Yeah, that clean kill at level 4 really allowing her to just power down a lot of these waves very, very quickly here. Just jumping from minion to minion. JPL coming in. Here comes Brightwing as well on towards JPL. They're looking to try and delay out this middle lane here as the other web weavers are going to push in towards the other ones, but they can't really do too much. They've got the level 10s, Lightning Breath, Water Elemental, Blink Heal, Shadowstalk, and Blessed Shield here, but they're not going to be able to save this position. Dignitas is in too much of a lead right now.
Yeah, this is what Navi's been waiting for a long time here. They could go down the line for some Shadowstalk, try to come in from behind. Lightning Breath is something that's very easy to count out because of how little Diablos we see ever, really.
Yeah. If they land a Blessed Shield with Lightning Breath actually coupling up with all of that, it could be a catastrophe.
Yeah. Everything,
for Team
really.
Dignitas. Yeah, it could be a lot of power coming out from them. They're going to send the Sentinel forwards. They reveal the position there of Team Dignitas as they're going to back it away. But they got the forts. They got what they wanted. And Leoric will just Wraith walk away.
Yeah, I really like that Dignitas. They try to take it slow here. They just pull back. They're trying to make sure that they get level 13 before any kind of fight happens. You don't want to be fighting necessarily with your opponents when you're on equal talents. Even that Phoenix here, the preemptive Phoenix, to make sure they don't get caught here at this hard camp. Fantastically done here by Team Dignitas.
What a win this would be for them if they're able to take this 2-0, considering that pass they've had with Na'Vi, considering that utter domination from Na'Vi in the European Championships. At the moment, Dignitas is up in experience. They are up 1 game here in this best of 3. And we have still, they're taking control of this map here. It's going to be difficult for them with the level 13 talents coming in now for Team Dignitas.
Yeah, securing that easy camp here is going to be nice. They're going to have a little bit of a pushing force here at the bottom. Do they try and go for a fight here? Or do they just kind of play it slow, get the turn in? Ideally, I think they'd love to go into a fight, but you don't want to rush in too quickly and find yourself in a bad position.
Yeah.
I think they're just tuning up Na'Vi here right now.
And as usual for Zarmany, that Drain Hope's going to get talented into it, level 13 for Crushing Hope. So a big, big damage can come out here from Leoric if he gets himself on towards a Johanna or a Diablo. That's really where he's going to be aiming for, not only to increase his survivability, but also to really power down the position that we're seeing here from Na'Vi as the Sentinel spots them moving towards the boss.
That spoiled their plans very quickly here. Just going to be pulling back.
Gotta be careful. There's a little bit of engagement going on towards the bottom here as Leoric will Wraith walk away. Just kind of acting as a scout almost here is Zarmany towards the bottom, trying to escort this easy camp to get it to do some damage. Sentinel spots them towards the boss again. But it looks like Team Dignitas here, with the amount of members from Na'Vi that was down towards the bottom, they're trying to bait this out now.
They're almost level 14 as well, against a Na'Vi that's level 12. Fighting 1 talent down is one of the worst things that you can do in Heroes of the Storm. Probably the second worst things after fighting 2 talents down, which rarely happens. But in this case, Na'Vi knows that they can't fight just yet. But it seems like Dignitas didn't want to risk it because Na'Vi were closing in on level 13, so they just pulled back. And they might just be happy with getting a full turn in here in a second. They've got enough.
They were looking to bait out that position. The Sentinel misses the turn. It would have only hit Bakery. He's got 1 gem and then maybe Snitch. But at the same time, it could have been important because here come the Web Weavers for Team Dignitas once again. Are they going to be... Oh my God! Oh no, they almost got on towards that hard camp there. As we're going to see the Shadowstalk come down. Lightning Breath has also been activated here. So it's taking a lot of damage underneath all of this. Divine Palm's been popped on towards Snitch, but I don't think it's going to be enough to be able to keep him alive here. Lots of spread damage. Alex the Pro G, that almost gets out towards the bottom. Diablo's going to fall. Dignitas turning this fight around. Brightwing goes down as well. What is going on? Dignitas was supposed to lose that fight, but they didn't. And they kept themselves alive with all of the AoE healing from Karazim.
Hard camp or not, a massive win here for Team Dignitas. Coming in a little bit late, and now those Web Weavers are going to be pushing in. They're already ahead in experience. They're going to get so much damage here done with all of those Web Weavers. Dignitas, it's their show right now. They're running the show in the semifinals.
It's their show. They are upsetting Team Na'Vi here. They are 2 levels ahead at the 12-minute mark. This is unprecedented considering what we saw from these 2 teams at the European Championship. Team Dignitas has shown up and they are really showing face here. At the moment, they are powering on towards this position. They might not look for the full kill here. They might go for a disengage, but still, here comes the Lightning Breath out from Diablo, doing quite a bit of damage. They want to bring him down during all of this. Alex taking some damage up towards the top as well. Kanden comes in, locking down Bakery and Athero for a moment, but nobody dies.
Lightning Breath really not doing that much here against the healing of Bakery. Dignitas turns around, they still want to fight.
Good little moves from there from the Brightwing as well. Alex Pro G still in the thick of things, and he's going to end up going down. Johanna already falls here. Team Dignitas with yet another pickup. Zarmany actually getting that skeletal swing onto a few of them, slowing them down. Brightwing is locked down. Blink heals out of there. Very important, but the keep has fallen.
So many gems were lost. That was 33 gems here on the Johanna that just died. Some of those were picked up, but so many of those were lost here by Navi, who are in quite a bit of trouble. Level 13 against 16. They just don't seem to be able to win a single fight here.
This is a lot. This is a lot. We have seen, though, Navi in the past come back from the brink of destruction. Think back to their series against DK. Think about the resilience that Navi has had in some of these games here in the World Championship. Do not count them out just yet. They still have 2 keeps available to them. The level 16 talents in at the moment here for Team Dignitas are going to add that little bit of extra power and even a little bit of extra defensive capability. Think about how Kerrigan, with their assimilating shield abilities here at level 13 and 16, is going to be able to keep alive even further in these fights.
Arcane Barrier as well. I mean, if you have that plus Bakery on your team, usually you're not going to die.
It's going to be difficult for them to really wrestle this back at the moment. Team Dignitas moving up towards the boss here once again. It could be a bait. They're looking for the Sentinel to come out from Shrimpy.
They've actually been really shy to properly start this and then try and force a fight. But this time, I think they might be for real. They're actually trying to get it. And if Navi tries to contest, then Dignitas is just going to want to look to try and wipe them.
Oh, there's a Shadow Stalk. They're looking on towards Snitch here. Can they couple up a lot of stuns on towards him? That's going to be very important. He's already pulled them off as well. The Maelstrom has actually popped. And Joanna gets blown up under the power here from Team Dignitas. Likewise, does Diablo. Splendor is under a lot of threat as well here. Great stun out from Shrimpy to make sure that they're not going to lose 3. But they lost their entire front line. Now this is a great opportunity here for Dignitas to turn around, take that boss, and put on big pressure towards that top lane.
JPL letting go of his keyboard here for a second, scratching his chin in disbelief. This has not been their best game.
This could be it.
Struggling so much here. Navi, oh my God.
This is a big push that's going to come out of Team Dignitas here as they are looking to get the revenge on their opponents from the European final.
Look at Splendor. He doesn't look happy one bit.
He looks dejected at the moment. Meanwhile, you see on the other camera there, Bakery looking poised, looking focused, looking like they want to make killing moves here, killing blows. Navi has to play this very carefully right now. Oh, and that's not careful enough at all. Oh, that could get him. It pops! It pops! Jaina goes down. That's 35 seconds without big damage that they need to be able to keep themselves alive. Team Dignitas pushing on 2 fronts now, looking for Splendor. Blinks away on towards a minion. Very important, teleporting elsewhere to try and keep himself alive, getting away from the theater of combat. But they're going to lose a middle keep here. Team Dignitas is 3 levels in the lead at the moment here against Navi. They're going to get every single keep. And this is a disaster here for Team Navi.
They're just going to try to end it. They want a 2-0 victory. Level 19 against 15 now. Even if Navi get level 16 here, they're just in so much trouble in this game. What does Team Dignitas do? Do they pull back and try and get a turn in? Yes, it looks like they might just try and take their time.
Team Dignitas is in full control here. They're going to go over towards the hard camp as well, try and take this, really continuing to put on the pressure here against Team Navi.
Oh, Alex the Prodigy does not look one bit happy here on this shot that we see at the bottom.
Oof. It's hard for them at the moment. I mean, as much as they did come back against DK in that series in the past, this is going to be tough. Team Dignitas getting themselves almost a full turn in here at the moment, 3 levels behind. With level 20 hitting, there is a massive window here where Dignitas can actually finish this and move on to the grand finals.
18 gems away from the next turn in. Alex is going to get caught.
Oh, there could be more spin! He's able to catch 2! Actually, to lay down there, Splendor's able to get away just barely. Got a bomb on him, just going to try and get away here. Alex the Prodigy, though, is going to end up falling. That's one of the tanks already gone. Athero with that palm, not even going to pop here as they blow down by Diablo as well. He goes down, Tyranda's gone down too. This could be the finish here for Team Dignitas.
And Diablo didn't have 100 souls. It's going to be a 40-second timer here for him, doing which is going to be down. Bakery almost goes down, but escapes in the end.
Bakery almost dies off there. Good gravity lapse on towards him. Karazim actually does go down here, so there's a potential that they might not be able to finish. They need the healing capability. Are Dignitas going to go for this? Yes, they are. They're going towards core. If they can bring this down here in the little bit of time that they have left, that is going to be moving on to the grand finals. Navi trying to slow down. Jaina here trying to put out as much burst damage as possible on towards these members, but the core is falling. The core is falling. That is going to be Dignitas moving on to the grand finals. They are ecstatic here as they make their way on as the first team into the grand finals of the Heroes of the Storm World Championship. What a victory for Team Dignitas. they got their revenge on the team that was able to bulldoze them through at the European final. Team Dignitas here, moving on. What a victory for them. And in the end, we were guaranteed a European team in the grand final, but Team Dignitas looked strong there against brothers in arms. You can see the camaraderie here between the two teams. A lot of respect here between Team Navi and Team Dignitas.
Yeah, Team Dignitas said very openly after the European finals that they were embarrassed in that finals last time. It was a 3-0, it wasn't close at all. This time around, how sweet this revenge must feel, Grubby.
Yeah, going from a 0-3 to a 2-0, showing how far they've come in just a few weeks. And even in just 1 week from last week, where they did not look as strong as they did now. Now, you've all seen the game. You may even want to watch it back again later at home. I will. But there's one moment that I want to show just to show how much they've grown here in this Windows 10 game DVR replay. We're going to pause it here for a moment. They almost took the bruiser camp here. Team Dignitas did. They're moving in here. They have the web weavers summoning. And I just want to highlight Snitch. I feel like he was a big man of the match here alongside Athero, and I'll touch upon that in just a little bit. But Snitch's timing of jumping in was just incredible. He looked fairly demoralized in the last week at some point, almost, when I saw him walk around. And we're going to play it here because he was a little bit off again on Battlefield of Eternity. Here we see his timing against Team YL. But here he played just incredible. Going to play it here. Snitch, he's waiting. There, he jumps in as Unstoppable is gone on Johanna, forcing the engagement here. Divine Palm a little bit early here for Kharazim. And somehow they're almost all dead. The reason Athero Angel is staying alive there and he's keeping all his allies alive is because of his talent tree, which is just incredible. I love it. Progressive rock at level 1, getting more regeneration for all your for yourself every time you use your E ability, and then groupies. Healing everyone around you in a large burst heal. It's the perfect choice when you have Kerrigan and Leoric jumping in with you here. That's why they're all staying alive here. The combined healing from Kharazim and him. And that's why they win this fight. And there with the Living Bomb. Very nice play by ADRD. It's just a beautiful way that their draft work together, that the talent picks work together, and the synergy and timing of them jumping in. And truly, as great as Team Navi played in both the qualifiers and the tournament here, Team Dignitas is super deserving of that final spot.
Yeah, I don't normally do this as a commentator, but I'm actually very, very proud of Dignitas and how they've been able to perform here in the face of adversity against a team like Navi.
Here comes that patriotism.
Brits in the final, it never happens. So there you go, that is Team Dignitas moving on forwards to the grand final. We can confirm that in the brackets as well to show you exactly what has happened so far. This is Group A, of course, showing that Team Dignitas had to face off a little against a few troubles on their road here towards this position that they found themselves in. But obviously, having defeated Team Navi now and moving through to the grand final.
They just got a sweet revenge. Maybe they want another one in grand finals against Cloud9.
Maybe they do if they end up going against Cloud9, that's for sure. As we will not have, you know, Team Dignitas here actually being able to put themselves, oh, sorry, Team Dignitas does put themselves in the grand final. I'm lost for words for at the moment, this is crazy. It's been a long start to the day for sure, but what games that we actually got to witness there after having that little bit of a wait.
And it's only just beginning, as the second semifinals is going to be Team Cloud9 versus Team DK. North America's hopeful against Korea's only representative, beating the previous favorites in Korea in the qualifiers. Team DK versus Cloud9. That's going to come up next, and that will set the stage for the grand finals.
What a fantastic match to come, really. Cloud9 going up against Team DK. We've seen that Cloud9 has had a very strong performance here in the tournament so far. It didn't even have to play yesterday because they were that strong. So now today here, they're going to be coming in very, very prepared for a DK that hasn't looked invincible.
It's going to be crazy. A lot of spectators here I know are going to be cheering for Cloud9 as well. I can't wait until this match begins, and I really hope it delivers as this one just did as well. Because even though it was a 2-0, that was very entertaining. A lot of good fights, And again, you kind of summarized it all in your analysis. Some fantastic teamwork, talent choices, and everything from Dignitas in particular.
Make sure, ladies and gents, to check out BlizzCon.com for all the information coming out from BlizzCon so far. Not only here for Heroes of the Storm, but also the other games that Blizzard is so graceful as to provide to us, all of us lovely, lucky people here in the Blizz world. For now, though, we can head over to Anna with an interview here with the team, moving on to the grand final.
Thanks so much, guys. I am here with Bakery. Let's hear it one more time for Dignitas. Bakery, your team has just secured itself a spot in the grand finals. You've won at least $120,000. How are you all feeling right now?
Honestly, this just feels amazing. Like, we didn't actually expect to make it to the final. Our goal coming in was top 4, and especially since we beat Na'Vi, who had such a good record against us in the European Championship, it just feels amazing.
It's a huge topic to talk about you and Na'Vi, as you really did want to prove yourselves against them after the European Championship, but they've also become your friends and allies in scrims. Tell us a little bit about how it feels on stage to be knocking them out of the tournament.
I mean, at first when we won, I felt like really great, obviously, and when I walked over and I saw them, I actually felt really bad, because I want them to be in the finals as well. But yeah, once I see the crowd cheering again, it goes good. Straight back up. Feels amazing.
Well, you're going to have to avenge their honor as you move forward into the semifinals, and we're seeing some awesome play out of you. We talked yesterday about your Kharazim play, which has been really important. You're also one of the only teams to be consistently picking ETC. Are those some things that were keys to your success, or are there others we should notice that have been really important for you and your team?
I think we have 100% win rate with Kharazim in this tournament, which is really cool for me because it's my favorite hero. In terms of ETC, it's something we actually picked up here from the Chinese and Korean team. And it just works really well in early aggression. And once you get groupies, it puts out so much healing. It's really hard to deal with in team fights.
It was really fun to watch as well, and we're looking forward to watching you in that grand final. There are 2 teams ready to face off here on stage, vying for that next spot next to you. Who do you assume you're going to meet when you get to the finals?
I think it's going to be a great matchup. I'm actually going to go with the crowd, though, and say that Cloud9 should make it to the final.
Well, thank you, and congratulations. Get some rest. We will see you again soon. Guys, we are going to check out a video as we move into the next match about what we think Cloud9's strengths will be.
I think Dunk Train, as our captain, really brings a lot of stability to our team. We can, on occasion, get a little rowdy or kind of lose focus on what we're really trying to be practicing. And Dunk's really the one to be there and bring it all together and make sure that we stay on track.
What can I say about any of you? The strongest thing about King Caffeine is probably his presence on the team. Everyone relies on him constantly, and he just always performs. iDream's biggest strengths are his capitalization on the enemy's mistakes, I think better than anyone else in the scene right now. KyoinPro's strengths are definitely in the realm of mechanical outplay. That's just a really amazing feeling when you're playing as a team. You're positioning for a 5v5 and then suddenly you hear from the flank, hey, I killed someone, and you're like, yes. I think it's really obvious that Fan just brings the better strategic sense, just capitalizing on the map rotations and strategic things rather than the team fighting itself, which is something that we lacked prior to his addition.
그렇게 뭐 걱정은 크게 되지 않고 한국 팀들이 가장 강하다고 생각을 하고 계속 게임을 했었기 때문에 경기 스타일 차이만 잘 보완한다면은 큰 문제 없을 것 같아요. 어차피 뭐 한국이 가장 세다고 생각을 하고 그래서 저희 한국팀 다 이기고 올라와서 저희가 우승할 것 같으니까 즐기다 가시면 될 것 같아요.
The Heroes of the Storm World Championship is brought to you in part by Intel, Windows 10, T-Mobile, and MasterCard.
Hello, friends. It's time to decide the second team in our grand final. And I, for one, am very excited. I think you are too, because I'm ready to introduce your blue team. They're coming from the Americas region. In fact, they are the Americas champion, and we haven't even seen them play yet because they secured their spot so long ago during opening week. It sounds like they might be your favorites. Your blue team is Cloud9. Your red team comes from a long history of pro gaming, and with that comes a lot of confidence. They came into opening week thinking they would not find anyone to stand in their way, but they were wrong. So they've been fighting their way back through this bracket. They are the Korean champions, and they are proud to show you why they deserve to be in the finals. It's Team DK. There has been a lot of talk about who is the favorite to win here. Commentators, I cannot wait what you have to say. Take it away.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the semifinals. This is the Heroes of the Storm World Championship, and I am Babel, joined by Gilly as well as Kubi. How are you guys doing today?
Babel, I am so excited that I get to be here to bring this hype match with you. We're going to have a lot of fun, and it's a big rivalry. Once again, we have North America squaring off versus Korea.
Absolutely, one of the biggest rivalries between regions that we've developed so far in Heroes of the Storm, all the way back to that PAX Prime just a few months back. And it was the first time we actually saw these regions facing off. Very contested, and I'm looking so much more forward to seeing how this is going to pan out.
We both know that these two teams we're seeing today are fantastic, accomplished teams in the world. The best in North America as well as the best in Korea. And they have a lot to say. Now, first of all, we do have Cloud9, and I hear they are the crowd favorites. So this is a team that came up a long way, and they also bested Tempo Storm.
They did, and it was a long battle for them to be able to do that. For a long time, it was Tempo Storm who were on top, but they finally were able to start winning when it started with the ESL playoffs and then America's Championship, which was so huge for them. It brought them into having a better seed into this tournament as well, and they've been very dominant so far. Anna mentioned it before. We haven't seen them play since opening week, and even in opening week, they only played 5 games, so a lot of their strategies have yet to be shown in this tournament.
Another interesting thing about that is the fact that these guys are rivals up until we had that Vegas championship. But after that, these guys were training rigorously together to make sure that they could represent the NA region the best. So I have to feel that Cloud9 wants to avenge their Tempo Storm brethren.
Yeah, definitely. And Team DK, they came into this tournament, thinking that they are already winners. Obviously, because coming from the Korean Championship where you have really intense competition, coming into the World Championship with such a mindset, they had a rude awakening. And the way to this semi-final stage, man, Kubi, it has been a really, well, I would say, tremendous experience and also a rude awakening.
Yeah, it has. And, going back to that one time that we have seen these regions up against each other was MVP Black taking a 3-0 over Tempo Storm. So now we have the team that was able to upset MVP Black. A long time considered to be the best in the world, now representing here at BlizzCon for this top 4. No wonder people are saying that they are the favorite team to move forward.
Yeah, and Gilly, remember that time when Tempo Storm, they were in the, I think, the winner's bracket, or rather the grand finals, and Cloud9, they took out Team Liquid. This is the same tournament that Kubi mentioned, and they were looking at Tempo Storm, can you guys take out the Koreans? And Tempo Storm, unfortunately, did not do that. But here, Cloud9, they will have a chance at doing just that.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, we have yet to see North America be able to best a Korean team. MSI MGA, MVP Black 3-0, I believe, versus Tempo Storm.
Yes.
And then we saw it here, a 2-1 versus Tempo Storm from DK. So this is Cloud9's chance. It's their chance to say, no, NA, they belong up there in the top.
And I hear that it is ready. The big game is going to begin right now as we load up the drum into what looks like Dragonshire. Cloud9, Team DK, the best of both worlds will clash right here, right now.
Looking at Dragonshire, I was going to say I think that'll be Team DK's pick. They've shown that they really enjoy playing on this battleground. They are known for their rotations in a very rotation-heavy battleground, especially when it comes to those individual rotations. Cloud9 going to start off things with a Tyrael ban.
Not surprised to see this. I was talking to some of the Cloud9 guys in the back, and they said, no, we're just not dealing with Tyrael at any point during the rest of this tournament. We don't want to deal with this hero. He's so strong. I think he has something over a 90% win rate thus far throughout the opening week and the BlizzCon matches. And they said, we're just going to take Tyrael out. We're going to play to our strengths from there, and we're going to see how it goes.
You know what that does leave open, though, is an Abathur. And Cloud9
Yes.
are notorious for not liking to deal with that type of play style. We'll see if that's something that Team DK chooses to go for. But so far, a Kael'thas ban on the side of Team DK. And Cloud9, of course they're going to first pick Jaina. They've been doing it all tournament.
Yeah, they have been doing this. This is what I was about to say just now. Very consistent with their strategy. They prefer first pick because of this Jaina. Banning out Kael'thas opens up a lot of room here for Team DK to get the Abathur. But we all know Abathur's not so good at Dragonshire.
So glad you brought that up, Babel. And it's really because this is such a skirmish-heavy map. And while Abathur is really good at sort of providing distractions across large battlegrounds like Cursed Hollow and the like, not really so strong on this battleground here. And so we need to look for more rotationally based teams, something that is maybe even strong in the early game to secure those early Dragon Knights, get some pressure moving, and secure the shrines.
Well, we have some good picks so far in that regard coming out from Team DK, Uther and Muradin. So this is going to dissuade some potential pressure from Cloud9, especially when it comes to those melee assassins. But also, just the fact that they're picking these up, this is something they've already shown time and time again, comfort picks for them in this tournament. So it allows them to hide strategies a little bit going into the second set of bans before they start to really show what they want to do here on Dragonshire.
Yeah, definitely. And Dragonshire generally want to win lanes here. Zagara is a favorite. Sylvanas as well.
Oh, yeah.
And here we go. Sylvanas getting a priority in this battleground. It's important to note that she just has so much push potential as a specialist.
Right, I'm glad you brought that up, that push potential. Those two picks right there for Cloud9 perfectly exemplify that. Having Leoric, and perhaps even in that top lane, he's just a very safe hero to put up there just so that the team can say, we want to rotate heavily between the very close mid and bottom lanes of this battleground. Leave Leoric in the top lane, and you have Jaina and Sylvanas to do a heavy push between the lanes. You can even throw all four of the other heroes rotating between those two lanes to get a very, very effective push.
The nice thing, too, with Sylvanas is if they are able to pick up the Dragon Knight, having Sylvanas paired on top of a Dragon Knight means that the structures won't be attacking the Dragon. So it requires Team DK to have their heroes come a little bit more forward, and they might be able to catch somebody out of position because of that.
Cloud9 should be looking at a warrior ban here, and it will be Sonya. I actually prefer Arthur's ban because Arthur's would be so important in winning a lane. He is also one of those that can win lanes pretty well, but Sonya will be able to put up a bit of a control in terms of the amount of damage that Team DK will want to do. Now, in terms of the draft so far, Uther as well as Muradin, they provide such a good rotation-centric composition. In the early game, I think Team DK will be looking to rotate between the lanes, and if the rotation proves to be successful, Cloud9 may actually be in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuns there. They could definitely chain those up and be able to take out someone. I also like the ban on Johanna from DK2. Already we see, you mentioned their push potential of Cloud9 with Leoric and the Sylvanas. So making sure they don't have Johanna on top of that, that would be a lot of really good solo lane heroes that they could get, keep the minions pushing and keep them off of their own structures.
Okay, so after the second set of bans, Team DK looking to pick up Zagara and Arthas. Arthas very likely will be part of that rotation crew, but Zagara, another safe hero that can be put in that top lane to sort of negate the push that Leoric will be setting forward.
I really like the fact that you picked Zagara and Arthas here. They know that they're not able to win lanes without these heroes, and they also already addressed the Johanna. So here we have Zagara, the best 1v1 in this whole game in terms of the laning phase. As long as she stays safe, she does have those creepy tumor to provide those vision, she should be okay. Arthas has got so much of a good presence.
Yeah, they have a lot of potential to have the rotation now, especially with the Zagara up top. Cloud9 picking up a Rhaegar. That is an interesting choice there for their support.
That's very early, I almost want to say. You know, just because there's nothing really that's jumping out at me from Team DK that says we need burst healing that has to come out. And unless they're predicting something crazy for this last pick from DK, what do you guys think is really prompting this Rehgar pick?
Well, Rehgar Ancestral Healing is going to be so good. Basically, they just want to make sure that they counter against Uther's, well, you could say anti-burst in a sense, but Ancestral Healing is very difficult to pull off. And you would not really expect a burst damage from Team DK, more of like a sustained damage. So maybe Rehgar will be able to heal up in the late game once they heal up a 13 and 16 with Healing Surge and Tidal Wave. That will really help keep the sustain alive.
Yeah, they could be maybe looking at, if they're going to have the solo warrior, then I could see maybe the Rehgar because he does have that chain heal, and especially once it gets going to the later game. But that's still very scary to have a solo warrior Leoric. Not something that we often see. Oh! It's not a solo warrior because there's Rexxar.
Okay, I have actually seen Cloud9 running this in the past, and we were sort of theory crafting about which of these heroes would be in the top lane. Leoric is what we were thinking, but Rexxar, especially if you grab the level 7 talent that does extra damage to mercenary minions, he is actually very difficult to push off of that top lane. So I fully expect to see Rehgar completely dominating the top lane and the top shrine. Very difficult to solo in that sense.
Well, definitely you have Rexxar as a huge, you could say, contest against Zagara in the top lane. That will be interesting to watch. Maybe once and for all, Zagara may be dethroned as the best 1v1. We'll see. After this, Zagara, Muradin, Uther, I'm expecting one more range damage dealer here. Would probably be Reyna or Vala. Vala's very consistent with the Asian meta, so like to see that. Kel'Thuz's already banned out. Jaina being picked up by Cloud9. I don't think they've got much of an option left, actually.
Yeah, definitely will be the Vala as our final pickup for our Team DK. So we do now have the stage set for Dragonshire. They'll have very consistent damage between Zagara and Vala too, but a lot of potential for ganks between the Arthas, the Muradin, and the Uther.
All right, so we have shown the cards on both sides. The draft is complete. Now what I want to know is which composition do you think has the upper hand, Gilly?
Why me first, Babel?
So we have to go down the line.
Oh, is that how this works? All right, fine, fine. I'll wait.
I really like Team DK's composition, especially with the fact that they have the Devouring Maw. We've seen some really clutch plays happen off of the Devouring Maw. But I'm pumped. I'm super pumped about Rexxar. Gotta throw that out there.
So for Cloud9 for Gilly. All right.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on that for sure. How can I not be rooting for Rexxar in time like this? First time we've seen him, and I am so excited to see what he's going to be able to bring to such a rotationally based battleground. And we know that Cloud9 is going to be able to pull off these types of technical plays. A very strong mechanical team. I cannot wait for this game one.
All right, so 2 Cloud9s on my side here. Very well done. So ladies and gentlemen, do join us on Twitter at Esports Heroes using the hashtag HeroesWC and vote for your favorite team using the hashtag Cloud9 or hashtag DK. Now, Kubi, thank you very much for joining us here. We'll be back with you on the analyst in a little bit after game one is done. But we are loading up right now, and we are going to Dragonshire Cloud9 versus Team DK. And as the map loads up, give it up for the team on the blue side. Cloud9, Duck Train will be the Rehgar. Fan onto the Sivana's iDream as the Rexxar. K1 Pro onto the Jaina. King Caffeine as the iconic Leoric. And on the red side, we have the team from Korea, the last hope, Team DK. Crazy moving will be the Vala. Jaehyun onto the Uther as well as Nobles onto the Muradin. SCSC on his favorite Arthas. And Sniper as the Zagara.
Man, speaking of the Zagara, look at that Void Seeker mount. It is so awesome looking. I really want that, Babel.
I already have that. So it's really awesome. I mean, this comes really well with the pre-purchase of Legacy of the Void. So, I mean, it's one fantastic mount. It completes the collection. If you are a Protoss fan, you should definitely go for that. And here we have a little bit of a nice engagement going down already. Fan a little bit out of position, but the stun will not connect on him. iDream setting up some form of a nice wall in with Misha going for the jump. Can they get it? Haunting Wave will connect, but not enough damage. Seems like the backline was just not in a good position, and they don't want to overextend.
So this is iDream, the flex player for Cloud9, playing Rexxar, which of course puts King Caffeine playing his favorite Leoric. He really makes some awesome Leoric plays. I don't know if you remember, but that amazing Entomb stopping the Butcher in the Americas Championship. We're going to be looking for some cool plays from him for sure.
How can anybody forget that?
Right?
Basically blocking out the Butcher's Furnace Blast. So well done. I'm not so sure if it's going to be Entomb in this game, though. What do you think?
Yeah, we'll have to see. March the Black King also makes a lot of plays too, but he generally does play a lot more of the Entomb, so we'll see how that goes. Up at the top, we do have, like Kubi mentioned, the Rexar versus the Zagara, and we'll be looking at the creep spread there from Sniper 2, being able to make sure that no ganks can come in from Cloud9, as she'll be able to spot those out with that vision.
I mean, I would love to see Entomb with Ring of Frost, and oh, hold that thought. Nobilis, a little bit of trouble, but we'll be okay. Some stuns coming out. We have Blue Rays, Gilly, Cloud9 looking for the first DK, but already Jaehyun at the bottom shrine picking it up, and it seems like we're going to have a Raid Race instead. Also, Zagara on top will be picking the Sun Shrine. So it seems like the sites is just flipping so quickly. Rotation-wise, very, very nice and even.
Yeah, we have a lot of rotations that happen between the mid and bottom, and we may have an engagement here, but looks like both sides just kind of feeling each other out. There goes a Howling Blast onto Leoric. Won't be able to get a takedown. No first bloods just yet.
Vala channeling up the DK, but getting cancelled already by Sylvanas Haunting Wave.
Oh!
And again, the Dragonite Team DK goes in. Dunk Train is in a lot of trouble, getting rooted as well by the Howling Blast. Will go down. Nobilis is also pulling back, dropping very low, and a nice charge back there by Crazy Moving. It seems like it will be Leoric on the bottom side. Rexar top lane against Sniper 1v1. Meanwhile, we see that Span is just trying to put up some form of defense. SC pulling back. We have a bit of a heal going down, and DK will be able to pull back safely.
This is why SCSC is known for his Arthas. His Howling Blasts are always insane, and already they're able to get a Dragon Knight so early in the game as well as a takedown. But because it is such an early Dragon Knight, they're not going to be looking for any like super pressure. They're just trying to get as many towers as they can, try to get ahead in terms of experience, so they might be able to pick up level 7 faster, level 10 faster, and then catapult off of that with future Dragon Knights as well.
They also will stun lock Sylvanas. Sylvanas does go down, and they will finish off the second turret in the mid lane. So that means that both of those towers are already gone, and I consider that a 6.5 out of 10 a victory there for the DK.
Oh, Misha in a lot of trouble, but also is Rexar. Misha goes down, but the big deal would be able to get iDream, and he will fall. Another takedown in favor of DK.
Cloud9 is just not able to react to these rotations coming from Team DK. Very much on point. They do have the upper hand with Arthas as well as Muradin, and also to consider lock-in with the support Uther coming into position. Now Cloud9 just needs to hold back, play it slow, play it safe. They are not really winning lanes.
Yeah, and they're also down a talent tier. Speaking of talents, we have Jaina, who has picked up the Frost Shards build. So we're going to be looking at more of her Frost Bolt build. That's going to be able to pierce. So what they'll be looking at is the potential to be able to hit both of the members, the warriors of DK, and then later on, if she chooses to go for Numbing Blast, she's able to hit both of them, root both of them, and then they can disengage from that.
It'd be really good to see how that works out. Also, a possible build on the Frostbolt would be pretty awesome machine gun build, which would do a lot of damage. I think it works out to be about 700 damage every 0.6 second with Icy Veins.
Right.
All that thought, Nobilis and gonna go in, but we'll pull back out. Caffeine is gonna be fine as well. Some Siege Giant throwing those rocks. They need a technological upgrade.
Well, we'll see if they are able to pick that up. We do have an upgrade, at least for Cloud9, as they have level 7 now picked up, but they're still finding themselves behind a level. So both teams doing a really good job of soaking. At this point, they're staying even now. But if it keeps up at this rate, we will have heroic abilities picked up on the side of DK first, and the Dragon Shrines are about to spawn in just 14 seconds.
All right now Team DK 1 level lead. And they also will have the Bruiser Cam attempted already. This is going to help them provide so much pressure on the top lane, which means that a Sun Shrine will be going to the raid team unless something is done to stop that from happening.
Yeah.
And we have Cloud9 at the bottom lane actually going for the Moon Shrine.
Yeah, they're going to hold it for as long as they can, but now they have to really look at what kind of tricky rotations they can get into as they approach a level 10 team when they don't have it, because that is a very good window of time that DK will have to try to pick it up. So the Bruisers are starting to push. You mentioned how much pressure they're going to provide on top. Rexar, though, did pick up the ability that allows him to do more damage to minions and mercenaries with that Spirit Swoop at level 7, so that will help clear those out faster.
We have Jaina defending the mid shrine, so no worries there. Meanwhile, bottom shrine here, we have the rest of Cloud9 picking up the Moon Shrine. Sniper top lane pushing down the lane as much as possible, and it seems like Zagara is pretty dominant even against Rexar.
Yeah, Misha is having a really hard time, especially versus all of her minions too, but Sniper has run out of mana. He picked up that battle momentum at level 7, and that does mean that he is very mana dependent. So it may be somewhere where she's going to get pushed back. Actually, up in top, she gets taken out. A rotation from Jaina comes in, and that's a great move from Cloud9 to try to bring this back.
K1 Pro with the flanks, making good of his word. He is the best flanker that America has ever seen so far. Fan, meanwhile, in some little bit of trouble there. Haunting Wind will keep him safe. And mid lane, again another Dragonite. Now goes to Team DK. They are also level 10, so this means Cloud9 may not be too keen to defend the spot that the Dragonite's pushing.
Heroic abilities picked up are Devouring Maw, Divine Shield, Strafe, Avatar, and Army of the Dead for Arthas. So we're not looking at a super push-heavy Arthas. We are looking more for his ability to sustain through fights as long as possible, be the brunt of the damage that is given out by Cloud9 if possible.
All right, now they can fight. They already hit the level 10. And a nice cancellation on the charge there by Caffeine. We also will see some really interesting talents, Gilly.
Yeah, we have Bestial Wrath picked up for Rexxar. 150% bonus damage for Misha when they pick that up. So we'll see how much damage she's able to do when she gets in the back line. She was already going toe for toe with Zagara a few of those fights.
Man, I really like the Entomb, and you're right, it is the Entomb, but it's not a Ring of Frost. It's with Water Elemental and Misha. So you're getting locked in to a cage with a Water Elemental, as well as a really pissed off pair. I don't want to be in that spot.
I don't think any of DK want to be in that spot. They do have some people who, well, actually, they don't really have much of anything. They'll have to rely on their Devouring Maw potentially to be able to get out with just Muradin, who has the Dwarf Toss, to try to get away from that.
Yeah, Team DK still has the level lead, and they're looking to exert even more lane pressure on the mid as well as bottom lane. Top lane Rex are struggling, but rotation-wise from Cloud9 still not there yet. Caffeine with the Rave Walk. We see a bit of a stun onto the Rhaegar. Rhaegar, Ancestral Healing, down train, saves himself. DK now pulling back, but there is not enough damage on this side. Sylvanas just barely joined the team, and Jaina's also there. Now Caffeine a little bit of trouble, maybe popping the Entomb. Not just yet, there goes the Entomb, and the Welling Arrow combo on top of it, but where is the damage? Water Elemental knocking onto the Muradin, Divine Shield, as well as the Strafe Fan dropping a lot of HP. Noble is popping, Avatar already going in, looking for the lockdown. Caffeine wishing to respawn faster, not gonna get it yet. Nobles will pull back, and Team DK will be safe. That is a 1-for-0 exchange.
Once again, that Howling Blast was so impressive. They weren't quite able to capitalize on it, but they still did get the Leoric takedown as well. Such a fantastic job by Team DK, and once again, they find themselves up a talent tier just as shrines are about to spawn. But it's not so dire for Cloud9. They're only half a level behind this time. Maybe potential where they won't just have to give away a Dragonite for free once again to DK.
I'm really excited. I'm looking at a possible Icy Veins go right here, and Caffeine is pulling back. It's going to be okay, but they are one talent down right now. They need to soak the lanes a little bit more before they can get to level 13. And Team DK, they are looking pretty good going into the next phase here for the Dragon Shrines.
The difficulty for Cloud9 is because they have been behind in these fights and they have lost some towers. It becomes pretty tough for you to try to pick up those shrines in top and bottom. Thankfully, Rexxar did pick up the Bruisers. That pickup at level 7 for his Spirit Swoop, giving extra damage to non-heroic minions, does mean that you're able to jungle very effectively.
Yeah, we see Caffeine using the Wraith Walk, nicely timed. And also the fact that I think Arthas is the biggest problem for them. They just cannot go too close to this guy. He does have the Frozen Tempest that does a good amount of AoE damage. And King Caffeine is again setting up the stage with Drain Hope. That is the only thing useful against the Arthas. And as he drops to below 50% HP, some shields coming out. Water Elemental popping as well. Top lane, iDream dropping a lot of HP. And Sniper Nobles will be able to pick out iDream in the top lane. SC maybe the trade here, and he goes down 1-for-1. And Tomb snatches Uther, but there is no damage. The Water Elemental's blocking everybody. Jaehyun will be okay.
Man, the Water Elemental, that's exactly what you talked about. The Entomb with Water Elemental, a snowman saying, if you want to walk past me, you can, but you're going to be slowed down and chilled, and you're going to have to walk past all of these members. But we have a 1 versus 1. But both of the shrines, once again, picked up by DK. But for now, we're going to just see them continue to kind of play roulette here, trying to get to either rotations and pick them both up.
Oh my God, Fan, you don't want to be here to chain stun, and the Haunting Wind will not be successful. Down goes Sylvanas.
All right, so Sylvanas down, and this is a big deal for DK because they're finding themselves up in experience, but also with a little bit of a power play where they have 5 people on the field, and this is huge on Dragonshire because this is a time, a window where you can really try to make something happen. Caffeine really good at guarding the Dragon Shrine, and they do have both of the temples, so that's going to slow down DK. It's very important here that they do everything they can not to give up another Dragon Knight.
They're not really worried about the top shrine because you always have Misha, doing the dirty work, going to the shrine there and picking it up really well. And right now, the rest of Cloud9 just holding it, playing it safe. May see a possible Bush party here. Noblesse as well as the rest of the team looking for a possible flank, but he may be in a lot of trouble. If they spot him out, Fan gonna get caught out. Jaehyun swings by looking for the stun, will not get it. Caffeine now also using Wraith Walk. And it seems like the push on the bottom lane will still continue from Team DK.
Yeah, they have so much damage they can just freely throw on that, and the zoning from SCSC was really superb. Nobody wants to walk through the Frozen Tempest because it slows you more and more the longer you're in it, so he can follow with you, make you slow, taking free damage, if you will, for DK. So all the while, Vala and Zagara were free to throw damage on that fort, so that'll be the first fort taken down for the game, and that does give level 16 to Team DK.
They will have the talent lead again, but just for a brief moment here, Sniper going back to the top lane to address this. Rexxar is almost looking like it's a very, very painful hero to deal with in the top lane. Without Zagara there, there's nothing they can do. They gotta make sure that they don't find S5s. And Dragon Shire, I mean, this Battleground is all about teamwork, split up. You're not looking at big 5v5s all the time. You're looking at strategy. You're looking at a macro play. You're looking at making sure that you win the lanes and defend the fort, because the first fort will be what keeps the Shrine folks alive.
Yeah, there's a lot of skirmishes here, like you mentioned. You don't see a ton of those 5v5 fights, and when you do, they're always very epic, but until then, you really want to try to catch your opponent where they have fewer heroes than you do, or they're down a talent tier when you are. And it's all about strategizing, trying to catch them in their rotations and have the favorable engagement on top of that.
Okay, we see the top Shrine again. Misha swings by, denying the possibility there, as well as the Dragon Shrine in the mid lane. Still no Cloud9 members going for it. Rest of Team DK with a bit of a rotation to the top lane. iDream buying so much time, but where is the Dragon Shrine attempt?
Well, Caffeine's trying hard, but there are several members here of DK going to be able to stall it out long enough for them to pick up the top shrine. Speaking of King Caffeine, I wanted to point out that he did grab Imposing Presence at 16. This isn't often seen on Leoric. You usually see like the Renewed Swing or Consume Vitality for a Skeletal Swing. Oh, but he might be in trouble here, so we might have to continue this conversation later, Babel.
Wraith Walk from Caffeine. Noblesse looking for the lockdown, not going to get it. Dunk Train keeps the teammates safe, and the rest of Team DK now with a 5-man aggression on the mid lane. They will not have control of the top shrine. Again, Misha goes to work.
Yeah, well, they're having a heck of a time picking up the shrines. They can't, or at least are stopping the Dragon Knight being picked up from Cloud9, but it's only a matter of time until Cloud9 may be able to find one of these members of DK, catch them out. It could be right here. They're on the way in.
And yet to catch a Sniper. There goes the Divine Shoot. Jaehyun pulling back, but there goes the Devouring Maw. And Central Healing connect. Baneling's bursting some damage. K1 Pro will be okay. The silence quickly onto Uther, but a flash of light healing up the rest of the team. And we got Sniper pulling back. Noblesse once blocked. K1 Pro will sidestep the stun. And K1 still staying safe. The rest of the team coming back in here. We will lose Zagara on the side of Team DK. iDream with Misha doing so much work, but no more best to rob. And iDream still staying alive. Rexxar goes down. SCSC is still pretty okay, but Noblesse dropping way too much HP. 2 for 1 exchange so far. Maybe more. SCSC gets blocked, and Asta's looking to go down. Last few hits, and they get it. Noblesse now also will go down. 4 men down. The crowd is roaring. Cloud9 will win that fight.
4 for 1 here in favor of Cloud9. They finally find an engagement, and for once they're ahead in experience. They're going straight for the Dragon Knight. They know this is their time. They've got to start getting some structures down. But thankfully, they haven't really even lost very much themselves into this game. We've had a lot of really good defense from both sides on those structures.
We will celebrate their first Dragon Knight for Cloud9 as they plow down the mid lane. Finally, a fort on the side of Team DK will be addressed here. Fans knocking on quickly on the mid fort. And still we have 20 seconds before the full team forms up for Team DK with Mordin's respawn.
Yeah, at this point, they're going to, it looks like they're going to go down and take another fort too. They realize they're getting very, very close to those Storm talents at level 20, which would be oh so beneficial for them. And they're even skipping the talents, or the towers. They know that they need to use this time they have with the Dragon Knight on more experience giving and more important structures like this fort.
Look at K1 Pro. It is the IC Vein. It's time for Jaina to let it go. Level 20. Storm talent getting picked up, Dilly.
Yeah, we have Rewind for more heals from Rhaegar, as well as Spectral natural leech coming in for Leoric. Every time he has a basic attack, he'll be stealing health from all of the members, making him even more survivable and taking even more of the life away from these members of Team DK.
It's such a good counter against Arthas because he's got a good amount of HP right there. Caffeine with the Entomb a bit too far back. Rest of the team still not ready for it. Fan's gonna respawn in just 5 seconds. The whole team pulling back slowly. Misha knocking on the keep. The keep will still stand, but C9 pulls back. They have the Stomp Talon. It could be a bait. We don't know just yet. And it seems like it will be the Howling Blast connecting a little bit. Drainhope will be disconnected as well. Noblesse will just run away with the Dwarf Toss. Rest of the team going in the last hit. And they get the kill for Cloud9.
Spirit Swoop will swoop in and take out the keep. They're able to secure that. DK tried desperately to push them back, but they knew it was going to be very difficult to deny that keep getting taken out because they don't have level 20, still half a level away. And this is a time when Cloud9 are going to start to paint the map blue. They're going to move around. They're going to push the lanes back. They're going to pick up whatever camps they are and push with them, especially those bottom camps. They're so important now because they have the keep down there. Those will be pushing with catapults, Babel.
Then that's exactly why the combat mechanics in this game is so strong. You're looking at one good fight and the mid 4 going now. The entire bottom lane decimated already. Cloud9 still has the lead, but Team DK is almost getting the level 20 that they desperately need.
And that's the power of Sylvanas too, right? The fact that they were able to go in and take out so many structures lends to the fact that she has that black arrow for her trait. She's able to stop those structures from attacking. They can at any time rotate to another structure like we see them doing here and quickly start to decimate it as well.
Lyric scouting out the enemy team. He does have Wraith Walk. He will be okay. Drainhope not connecting. A bit of a dangerous position for him to be in. iDreams Misha looking for a bit of a disengage in case it is needed. But C9 stays safe.
Yeah, she's so nice for that. The fact that she only counts as a quarter of experience if you do take her out. You don't want to lose her because Rexxar is way weaker without her. But the fact that you have her there, she can be out in front and she can charge in to stun someone to allow the other heroes to escape is really nice play by iDream on that Rexxar.
Knowing Cloud9's strategy, they win one more fight and that's all they need. It will be a straight core if possible. iDream goes in for the lockdown. Spectral Leech going to work. There goes the Hardened Shield quickly on SCSC. Caffeine pulling back. 2-man stun in the background. But Team DK will steal one blood. Sniper is already in position for the Devouring Maw if needed.
Yeah, Cloud9 took some damage there, but everyone's healing back up. Noblesse jumping very far forward. Now that is down. That means Dwarf Toss is down. They aren't going to go straight after him, but it could have been a potential for them to do so.
Yet, unfortunately, Fan as well as Dunk Train in both the Sylvanas and Rhaegar, they are at the top lane. And we see King Caffeine again going and boxing out the Muradin. Who's the real king here?
I think King Caffeine.
Yep, not Mountain King nor Leoric the Black King, but here we have King Caffeine, and coffee wins any day.
All right, well, I agree with that. I would love some right now, but until then, let's see who's going to grab the next Dragon Knight. We have iDream. Once again, Misha on that shrine. So nice to be able to pick that up with her without putting themselves out of position. They have the potential there. There is the charge in as well. And you mentioned it. If they pick this up, they're going to go to core with it. It's a potential 20-minute Dragon Knight. That is so strong.
It is Mutalis just retiring right there. And we also see iDream just using Misha to its maximum potency right here, defending the shrine quickly, and Noble is going in, missing the Stomp Bolt. Unfortunately, SCSC will be in front, but there is the Entomb on 2 target. Also the Silence in the back line, but Cloud9, they are not comfortable yet. They want to take it a little bit slower, making sure Misha with Vessel Rum holds the front line. There goes Misha, charge, and the Divine Chill onto the Muradin. He's going to be okay. King Caffeine from the back line, still not at 2 for 30 seconds, but he's still holding on pretty strongly. Will not be enough. A 3-man Devouring Maw from Team DK. They want blood. Baitlink's coming out. More damage on the side for the Koreans, but still no takedown yet. Dunk Train now trying to stay alive, but will not be successful. 2-for-0 exchange.
2 down on the side of Cloud9, and one of them their healer. This is big for DK. They've already picked up one of the shrines. They send Muradin up to the top to get it and start to rotate to the mid in the meantime. They're ready. It looks like Cloud9 are desperate to try to stop this. They know that probably everyone isn't up here yet, especially because Leoric provides vision.
The flag from K1 Pro. They won this takedown. Noblesse will go out, but Cloud9, 3 versus 4 is still not so good. We have a bit of a catch-up. Caffeine from the back line. They need to group up, waiting for the reset. The Entomb on 2 targets, but still not enough damage. Caffeine holding the
the front line. iDream with Misha. They want to box out SCSC. He pops Army of the Dead. Strafe doing a lot of damage in the back line. Crazy moving, staying safe. Some kills coming in, but still no kills yet. And Arthur's maybe the first to go down. Arthur's getting healed up again. And with the Divine Shield, stays on. Zangara will go down. In the back line, J-View now. In even more trouble. Willing Arrow connect. Misha, jump for joy. Unfortunately, no stop, but J-View will go down.
That fight could have been so bad for Cloud9, but they rolled the dice and it came up boxcars because they didn't have their support. They didn't have Rhaegar, and it was only a warrior down on the side of DK. Yes, it was a very important warrior, but they still had one more. It was much scarier for Cloud9 there, but they knew they had the Sylvanas. They knew they could stop the fort from attacking. They went in for it, and they were able to pick up yet another Dragonite here.
Oh, Fan channeling up. Fan will beat up Dragonite. Misha catches SCSC, and there goes the N2. This is the big problem, and the shot bang on Vala, not enough damage for Team DK. We still see Fan doing some damage, but it is not going to be a kill just yet. Cloud9, they want to take it slow. They don't have to rush this, but they are in the lead.
Yeah, and Jaina is up in 10 more seconds too. And they have plenty of time, still a full minute with the Dragonite still for Jaina to be able to come up. And you look where they're pushing. They already have catapults here. There's only a tower standing in the way for the core. They know this is a 22-minute Dragonite, Babel.
It is going to be the bingo lane right here. We're looking at a tower, but Fan wants to go to the core. Caffeine on the back line, doing some damage against Noblius. That Spectral Lich is just so painful to deal with that I don't think Muradin will stay safe. Fan losing a lot of HP, tanking up so much damage, but Muradin still not going down here. Fan now may actually respawn at Sylvanas, and Cloud9 will fail this objective. They have to pull back. We still see Noblius staying safe. King Caffeine running back again. Stumble misses yet again, and the essential healing unfortunately will not connect. Will be down for 5 seconds, and Cloud9's Caffeine needs to respawn quickly. But he's using whatever mechanics possible to come back and break the game.
Misha was there once again and did fall, but as I mentioned before, not a ton of experience. And at this point, we've already hit the Storm Talent, so it's more important that they're able to keep all of their big heroes alive. And that means they need to get Leoric back. But you mentioned it before, he'll come back faster. He is Leoric and has that Undying ability. He can use his abilities to cheat death a little bit, and that's exactly what he's done. So he's almost up. The important thing is that the rest of Cloud9 were able to get away, so it didn't become a win condition for DK.
It is, and in fact, if you think about it, the two things that can die on Cloud9's roster, first would be Misha. That's the best thing to throw away. Second would be King Caffeine, because he comes back so quickly. So in general, it's still not a bad of a loss at the bottom lane, but they did not push down the lane fast enough. And generally, it's just a bit of a miscommunication, I think. They wanted to go for Muri, they wanted to push together, and nothing was achieved.
Yeah, the Dragonite did take a lot of free damage from that core up there, as well as all of the members, because the rest of the team was focusing on Muradin and weren't able to pick him up. So we'll see how this big push, this minion push that we have in the bottom, but we could have a fight as well.
A bit of a problem, Ancestral Healing used already, but this is a sandwich, and Team DK is the meat patty right in the center right now. SCSC holding up the front, trying to chase after Rhaegar, and there goes the N2 splitting the fight into SCSC with the Divine Shield now will be able to hold the front, but Caffeine pulling back, and Cloud9 stays safe. K1 Pro again with the flanks and dropping those really icy cold rain.
Every heroic ability has been used except Devouring Maw, and that can really change the tide of battle. Cloud9 need to be so careful there, and they realized that that was still up. They knew that that could be a potential problem, so really great disengage from them. Both teams playing fantastically here, knowing that a wipe at this point, it's game over for them.
It is, and they have to play very safe. 24 minutes in, almost 25, Gilly. 9-11. We are looking at really, really good even game here on Dragonshire. Cloud9 still has the lead. They want to make sure they take one good fight. That's all they need to win this game number one.
Yeah, and because they have the keep down, it's on the back foot force DK. But here is the fight. You mentioned this. Misha is charging in.
Oh, maybe this is the one. Devarmo connects on two targets behind Sniper. With both, that's used. Caffeine gives chase. But already they lose Arthas. And King Caffeine dropping way too much HP will actually go down 1-for-1 at the end.
All right, a warrior down on each side, as we do have the potential for a Dragonite to be picked up. One shrine held on either side. A big minion push up in the top, maybe enough to take down this top four. But Sylvanas is going to come in. She can clear out these waves so fast, might be able to save it.
Might just be enough, but one thing I like to point out here is that if you look at the cooldown, there is no Devouring Maw for the next 1 whole minute. As for all the other heroics used for Cloud9, the cooldown's only 10 seconds remaining, so they can take a fight in the next 10 seconds and have a 30 seconds window to win that fight.
All right, so now we have the Dragon Shrines trying to be picked up. It looks like we might have a bit of a trade here happening, so just back and forth, but Noblesse might be cut out here. Here comes iDream.
And Noblesse pulling back. He's gonna stay stable a little bit. Rest of Team DK is already in the back line. Water Elemental giving chase, and Tomb catches that, but he still has both, or maybe not. And the Wailing Arrow, but we have the Divine Shield keeping him safe for a little bit. Crazy moving, pulling back again. More consistent damage from Team DK. K1 Pro with the flank. SCSC goes in. He bolts back out, and it seems like there's still no kill.
And the big deal was the Divine Shield was popped there, but once again, now Devouring Maw is up. Unfortunately, Noblesse is in a lot of trouble here, and he's gonna fall.
Noblesse goes down, 4 versus 5. This is for real. They know they have the numbers. Can they win this fight? And Tomb is going to be up in just about 15 seconds. SCSC, with all those extra body blocks, he's not able to run away. Ancestral healing again. And after trying to pull away, running away from that Skeleton King, a Devouring Maw connects. Zagara already gone. Maybe Cloud9 Winter. I don't know. But SCSC looks to go down for sure. A lot of heals coming out. It is not enough. 3 men down. JQ now getting 1 back in. That's it. Make it 4. We got Crazy moving, running away. Fan giving chase. But Fan, you want to make sure you focus on the core because this is their moment. Cloud9 looking to nail the final hammer in here. And it will be a possible win. Trave in the backline, but nobody cares about Vana right now. They want the core. They want to make that sandwich. Vana still goes down at the end. By the core now dropping 4. Will go down. And it seems like game number 1 will go to Cloud9.
Cloud9 taking game number 1 versus Team DK, and this is huge for them. They are 1 game away from facing Team Dignitas in the finals. All they have to do is 1 more, but Team DK looked very strong for that game. They dragged on for a long time because Cloud9, they really struggled to find the final nail in the coffin there. So we'll see how the next game tends to go.
Well, it is very, very exciting. I mean, that first game was close for most part, but Cloud9, they had the bigger and better macro game. Don't you agree, Kubi?
Absolutely. When it got to that late game, especially after they got the Wildfire Bear, the Burning Rage upgrade for Misha, all I can say is Misha, Misha, Misha. Because that's what that was all about in all of these team fights in the late game. They just got so much value out of that. Being able to use the Bear to isolate some of the backline targets like Vala, pull them out of the fight because just the positioning, the body blocking was very on point. It was really all about the warrior play too. The Entombs were not necessarily used to set up kills, but to pull out some of those big cooldown abilities. So let's head on over to the Windows 10 game DVR replay. We can check out one of those exact moments where we really saw that plan going into action. So we have a really nice fight starting, but always keep your eye on Misha. We're going to pause it right here. At this moment, during this Maw, actually we're going to go ahead and keep playing it. This really nice Maw gets thrown down, but really the big thing we want to highlight here is the Wailing Arrow that gets thrown out. But once Uther dies, you have to make sure that you know he's going to have a lot of healing because of that flash of light. So the team splits up, disengages for just a quick moment, is able to back up, re-engage a little bit after. We see that life leech from King Caffeine, and this becomes an incredible chase. At this point, Noblesse does not have any way to escape at this point, but Misha is getting so much damage in with that Wildfire Bear, able to isolate some of those backline targets. Noblesse, crazy moving, looking for ways to get out of this fight. Just was not happening. These are the types of play that Cloud9 is known for, and really what is able to get them this type of victory.
Such an awesome play right there. They capitalized on the mistakes made by Team DK, the overextension. And also, like you nicely pointed out, that was actually the game-changing moment for Cloud9. Don't you agree, Gilly?
No, absolutely. It was fantastic there by Cloud9, but what I love is that it was Rexar and Misha, and we had yet to see them. So that is the big deal, is that Cloud9 were able to keep this strategy until now when we have this all-important game on the line. They want to go to finals. They want to prove that they're better than the Korean region, and they're 1 game away from doing just that.
They are, and it looks to be very, very much exciting right now. Cloud9, they are up 1-0. For all of you guys who just joined us, you're in for a treat because Team DK, they're 1 game down. They're going to make sure that they equalize this series with winning the next one and possibly even taking it back home after that. That's a huge order for some team, for someone who actually said that there is no more competition here. Everyone else should just have fun. With such a heavy words, being used in front, they're going to now back it up with real results. We'll see. But in the meantime, guys, we have a break to go to before we bring you game number 2. And in the meantime, also, just let's hear what Cloud9 has to say about the